All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm recording this very, very early, and by early I mean it is Friday, and I put podcasts out on Thursday. I usually record on the Tuesday, of the week, and then release it on the Thursday. But it is Friday. It is Friday, May 27th. Friday, May 27th. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because one, I'm skipping the topic that I originally said we were going to talk about for week 10. That'll be week 11. Um, because I felt like it was very important. I felt like it was very relevant to a topic we've already spoke about. But the reason I want to point out that today is Friday, May 27th, right? That I said, is because I want to make sure that's known that I'm recording this before the outcome of what we're talking about. Um, So today was the last day of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Um, and the jury, gets into deliberation, I think starting tonight. Either they start on Tuesday or they're going to start tonight and it'll go until they come to a verdict. But again, the reason I want to point out that, again, today is the last day. They just did closing arguments. The jury just went into the deliberation room. I want to point it out because I don't want people to think I'm recording this after the verdict, because I don't know what the verdict's going to be, but I don't want people to think I'm making this video because I have an opinion of what the verdict's going to be. So in one of my last few podcasts, I forget what episode it was, we talked about me years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. I was in a abusive relationship, and then after things ended, it was made public and made known that I was the abusive one. And of course, because a female is blaming a man for violence, 9 times out of 10 people just automatically believe the female. Um, so what I've watched over the last 6 weeks is one, a lot of people being involved in this, and a lot of people being set on watching it every single day. And I was one of those people. And yes, part of it is because Johnny Depp is, if not my favorite actor, one of my favorite actors. But I can't think of anybody on the spot that I prefer more than him. And that's always been the case. I grew up with him with Captain Jack Sparrow. My favorite musical, he was the star of my favorite musical, which was made into a movie, which is Sweeney Todd. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I loved it. Edward Scissorhands, love it. Even just things I don't necessarily like the movie, but the fact that he can just become this whole new person, like the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland. Just all these characters that he creates, whether you like the movie or not. I mean, this man's got range in acting. So whether you like him or not, I think it's fair to say he's definitely one of the best actors, if not the best actor of this generation. So that's a big part of why I've been watching the trial. But another big part of why I've been watching the trial is, as you already know, that I have been accused of being an abuser and abusing a significant other when we were dating. And luckily, it never got to this extreme of a situation that the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation is. But still, it's tough to watch because so many parts of this trial just brought back so many memories and so many similarities between what I went through and what was happening in this trial. And while this trial was going on, I had so many people ask me like, "Oh, why are you watching that? That's trash. Like, that's so irrelevant. Like, people shouldn't even be talking about. People shouldn't be watching it." I disagree because look, the outcome of the verdict is going to be what it is. I You can't argue it, can't really do anything about it once it's done with. But I think it's important because it shines a light on men being wrongfully accused by women. Because again, in the life we're in today, if a woman accuses you of any sort of abuse, assault, whatever it is, 9 times out of 10, without even being proven guilty, you're just automatically proven guilty. Without any proof. You're just, people don't care your story. People don't care to hear both sides of the story. People don't care. People don't care. If a woman accuses you, and you're guilty. And it's just wrong, man. I've had talks with people I know who like have been in similar situations as me, and they relate to this trial. They watch this trial because they've been in similar situations. So I think it's so fucked up that people are like, oh man, like this trial is trash. It's such a joke. Like, it's not real news. Like it is though. It's bringing light to the fact that men can also be victims of domestic violence, of any sort of violence from a woman. And it's funny, a lot of the people that I've seen kind of joke about the trial or say it's trash or question why I'm watching it and wasting my time are also the same people that never gave a fuck when I was being abused in a relationship I was in. Never, backed me up when I was accused of being the abuser after that relationship ended. Never checked up on me to see how I was doing when I came out with that video that I showed you guys from, 6 years ago or whenever it was. Never came to check on me, never reached out to me, never apologized, never did anything. So it doesn't surprise me that those types of people are, making jokes on Facebook about, the trial is dumb, it's stupid, it's a waste of time, it's not news, it's pointless. It makes sense, looking at the type of people that you are, and you know who you are. I mean, some of these people, again, and it relates back to the podcast where I talked about the violence I was put into and the abuse I was put into. Like I said, there are people who are still friends with my abuser on Facebook. Even after everything became public, even after they heard what I went through, they're still friends with this person on Facebook. So it doesn't surprise me that, they don't take this case seriously. They don't find it to be relevant in today's world. And it's just so fucked up because, again, if you're a man and you're accused, you're just automatically found guilty. It's just so fucked up. So again, closing arguments for today. No verdict's been found. Again, it's Friday, May 27th. I won't put this out until, and who knows? I don't know if the verdict's gonna be. Let's see. I'm putting this out on Thursday, so that's gonna be June 2nd. Possibly there's gonna be a verdict by then. Possibly won't. But I wanted to make sure that this video did not make people think I'm talking about it because I'm either upset with the verdict or I'm happy with the verdict. Hasn't happened yet. May happen before I put this video out. But again, just want to make it clear. It is Friday, May 27th. A verdict has not been found yet. Or made yet. I don't know the correct termination. But yeah, man, it's just, I've watched it every single day. And just so similarities, like with the terrible acting from Amber Heard of just trying so hard to get a tear out, just trying so hard to get a tear out. That's how it was. I'd get punched in the... I remember there was one incident with this girl I was dating. We were in the car, and maybe I said something she didn't like, or maybe I didn't want to do something she wanted to do. I forget exactly what happened. I think I was taking her home, and she didn't want to go home yet. But I think I was taking her home because, like, she had a curfew. She had to be home at a certain time. So, like, I was like, you're going home. I remember where we were. The car was still parked, or the car may have been in drive, but, like, I was still parked in my front yard of my house. I was getting ready to take her home. I remember she punched me in the face, like full force, and then got so scared that she jumped in the back and started doing this hyperventilating thing, whining, but no tears, no actual crying. And I don't know what she was scared of, because I, at that point, have never put my hands on her, had ever put my hands on her, and even after that, never put my hands on her. But it was that thing where, like, she caused the violence. She was the one acting out with the violence, but then would automatically want to become the victim. And that's just what I see in this trial, is that even though all the proof leads to Amber Heard being the abusive one, all the evidence, all the recordings, she literally says in one of the recordings, I did not punch you, I hit you. Sorry, I didn't hit you a certain way, but I did not punch you. Let that sink in. She literally admits to hitting him. That's the first time. And then the second time was on that whole staircase incident where she claims that he originally pushed Kate Moss down a staircase, even though she later testified that it didn't happen. Kate Moss testified he never pushed her down the stairs. She still admitted, she thought of Kate Moss on the stairs, so she had to fight back to Johnny. She had to punch Johnny or whatever she did. She admits in so many recordings that she was the abusive one. She assaulted Johnny Depp. It's just wild to me that anybody and the public eye, because, you know, this has been televised, I think it's fair to say, whether you're a fan of Johnny Depp or not, I think it's fair to say most people, even organizations who speak out to women victims of domestic violence, have been speaking out for Johnny Depp. It's just so clear that Amber Heard is the abusive one and Johnny Depp was the abused one. And it's just so relevant. I think that's why especially after I came out with my video 6 years ago, saying that, you know, exactly really what happened and what happened after we dated. I think when all the evidence is there and people know me, people know I wouldn't hurt a fly. And I think that goes with a lot of the people that testified for Johnny Depp and were in court for Johnny Depp and even supported him outside of the courthouse on social media, his friends, family, other celebrities that know him. I think it's fair to say all of them know he couldn't hurt a fly. And that's how I saw it with me. I mean, I think everybody, especially after my video, came to their senses and nobody really said anything after. Nobody ever questioned me on it because, like, they listened to the video and they're like, that adds up. That sounds like him. That sounds accurate. And that's how this trial's gone. I think for the most part, Johnny Depp, his witnesses, his own testimony, his own evidence has everything pointed out that Amber Heard was the abusive one. Even some of Amber Heard's witnesses and her own testimony and her own evidence still pointed to her being the abusive one. So again, I mean, it's sad because in the world we live in, if a woman says a man beat her, sexually assaulted her, it's automatically found that she's telling the truth and the guy's guilty. So long story short, that's why I've been following this trial. That's why I've watched it every single day. So to those who say it's irrelevant, to those who say it's trash, it's not news, it's irrelevant to what's going on in the world, it's just simply not true because, again, I think it shines a light on male victims. Again, I was never really reached out to by anybody when they heard what happened with me. Again, it was 6 years ago. It don't bother me anymore, but I look back and it's like, if I actually did abuse that female, I'm sure everybody would come after me. So the fact that I was able to prove that I was the one being abused and everybody for the most part was silent. To this day, people are still friends with her on Facebook. Family members of mine, you know, people are still friends with her on Facebook. It says a lot. So that's that. Again, I did skip what we were going to talk about for week 10. So that'll go to the week 11. Man, 6 weeks of watching that. Wow. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Maybe I'll come back to this, you know, maybe I'll do a video with people that have the same experience as me and could relate to this trial. And that's a big thing as well. You know, I do have a lot of friends watching, family watching. If anybody ever wants to join this podcast, to either come over and we'll do a podcast or we can like do a Zoom and like record the Zoom call, I'm totally open for it. I have so many friends and family members doing incredible things. And I'd love to have a chat with y'all. So again, verdict hasn't been, you know, out. Today was the closing arguments. I'll be putting this out on Thursday, June 2nd, I believe. Today is Friday, May 27th. I feel like I need to keep repeating that because this video will have nothing to do with the outcome of this trial. I just think it's very important that we maybe say, this is going to sound really disrespectful. I personally don't think the term believe all women is right. Because again, me personally, I was accused of abuse when it was later proven that relationship, I was the one being abused. So the term believe all women, I truly think is bullshit. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but due to my own personal life I can say it's bullshit because a significant other of mine at the time accused me of it, and it wasn't true. So yeah, believe all women? Nah. So yeah, as always, stay beautiful. Don't judge anybody. One last time, justice for Johnny Depp. Fuck Amber Heard. And as always, peace out, Girl Scouts.